In a shocking twist, the Ukrainian government has outright dismissed any suggestion that Prince Harry was invited to their war-torn country. This isn't just a denial, it's a direct contradiction of the subtle narrative Harry and Meghan have been weaving. For weeks now, Harry has been hinting at his global humanitarian efforts, an attempt to solidify their relevance on the world stage. But Ukraine has called it what it is, completely false. This raises a much bigger question. If this wasn't real, who orchestrated it? And why? It doesn't take a genius to see the fingerprints of Meghan Markle all over this. This isn't an isolated incident, it's part of a pattern. Since stepping back from royal duties, the Sussex duo has operated like a PR machine on steroids, constantly crafting and recrafting their image. But this? This is next-level audacity. Using a devastating war, one that has claimed countless lives and displaced millions, as a backdrop to insert themselves into the narrative is beyond tone-deaf, it's exploitative. Let's break it down. Ukrainian officials didn't just deny the claim, they slammed it. They expressed frustration and confusion, calling the entire notion baseless and inappropriate. Think about that for a moment. In the midst of managing one of the most brutal conflicts in modern history, Ukraine had to take time to address a fabricated story about Prince Harry. That's how far-reaching and damaging this stunt has become. And let's not pretend this was some innocent misunderstanding. It reeks of calculated opportunism. What's truly appalling is how this aligns perfectly with Meghan's track record. From the very start, her approach has been to dominate the narrative, often at the expense of truth. Remember the Oprah interview? The bombshell claims that were later debunked or walked back? Or the Netflix docuseries that rewrote royal history to fit their victimhood narrative? This is her playbook: control the story, grab the spotlight, and spin it all into a brand-building exercise. Only this time, it's backfiring spectacularly. The very idea of linking Harry to Ukraine was likely seen as a golden PR opportunity. Think about it. What better way to bolster their image than to tie themselves to a humanitarian crisis of global significance? But here's the problem: this isn't Hollywood. This isn't some red carpet event where you can pose for photos and deliver rehearsed soundbites. This is a war. Real people are suffering, dying, fighting for their survival. And to insert yourself into that narrative without any legitimate involvement? It's not just insensitive, it's offensive. The backlash has been swift and brutal, and rightfully so. Veterans, activists, and real humanitarians are calling out the Sussexes for what this is: a shallow, self-serving attempt to stay relevant. And let's not forget the timing. Meghan has been pushing her new lifestyle brand and reviving her podcast. Coincidence? Hardly. This is classic distraction marketing. Create a big enough buzz with one hand while pushing your products with the other. But the public isn't buying it anymore. The cracks in their carefully crafted facade are starting to show, and people are seeing through the glitz and glamour. Let's talk about Harry for a moment. He's gone from being one of the most respected members of the royal family, a decorated veteran with a genuine connection to military causes, to being a pawn in this relentless PR game. Every time he speaks now, people are questioning whether it's really his voice or Meghan pulling the strings. And that's the tragedy here. Whatever goodwill he built up over the years is being squandered in these desperate attempts to remain in the spotlight. This latest debacle is just another example of how far they're willing to go. To fabricate a connection to a war-torn nation, to try and align themselves with a crisis of this magnitude, is beyond shameless. It's an insult to the people of Ukraine, to the soldiers on the front lines, to the families who've lost everything. It's a reminder that for the Sussexes, no issue is too serious, no tragedy too sacred, to be used as a stepping stone for their brand. And let's not forget the ripple effects of this stunt. When a high-profile figure like Prince Harry is associated with a false claim, it undermines the credibility of real humanitarian efforts. It diverts attention from the actual issues at hand, from the people who are genuinely working to make a difference. It's a distraction that nobody asked for and certainly nobody needed. The Ukrainian government's response wasn't just a denial, it was a clear message. They're not here to play along with this circus. They're dealing with a war, with the survival of their nation, and the last thing they need is a couple of celebrities inserting themselves into the narrative for clout. And the fact that they had to address this at all speaks volumes about the damage the Sussex brand is doing to their own credibility. This isn't just a PR misstep, it's a wake-up call. The world is watching, and the tide is turning. The more they pull stunts like this, the more they erode whatever trust and respect they had left. Meghan's strategy of leveraging global issues for personal gain is no longer working. People are tired of the performative activism, the carefully staged photo ops, the endless cycle of victimhood and self-promotion. They want authenticity, and this latest fiasco has shown, once again, how far removed the Sussexes are from that. The real tragedy here is that Harry and Meghan had the opportunity to do genuine good. With their platform, their resources, they could have made a real difference. But instead, they've chosen to prioritize their own brand, their own narrative, over everything else. And it's not just disappointing, it's infuriating. Because at the end of the day, the people who suffer the most from these stunts aren't the Sussexes. It's the real activists, the real humanitarians, whose work is overshadowed by this circus. It's the people of Ukraine, who deserve better than to be used as pawns in someone else's PR game. This isn't about hate or bias, it's about accountability. It's about calling out behavior that crosses the line, that trivializes serious issues for personal gain. The Sussexes might think they're untouchable, that their fame and influence will shield them from criticism. But the world is waking up. The truth is coming out, and no amount of spin or rebranding can hide it. So where do they go from here? That's the question. Do they double down on this strategy, continue to push their brand at all costs? Or do they take a step back, reflect on the damage they've done, and try to rebuild their credibility the right way? Only time will tell. But one thing is clear, the world is watching, and the patience for this kind of behavior is running out. This isn't just about Harry and Meghan. It's about the bigger picture, about the responsibility that comes with a platform as large as theirs. It's about respecting the issues, the causes, the people that they claim to care about. And until they figure that out, until they start putting substance over style, they'll continue to lose the trust and respect of the very audience they're trying so hard to win over. The Ukrainian government's rejection of this claim isn't just a denial, it's a statement. A statement that the world won't be fooled by empty gestures and false narratives.